Hey everyone, welcome to Limitless Radiocast, episode 56. Thanks to all of you out there for continually listening each and every week. We appreciate you guys a ton. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. Thank you for coming back and listening always. Also, this show is brought to you by AI Wellness, Supplements and Supplies. Go out there and check them out. Limitless at checkout for a discount. RollAmongUs.com, Limitless20 at checkout for a 20% discount. BattleBomb.com, Limitless20 at checkout for a 20% discount. Also, Magic City Brewing Company located in Akron, Ohio, as well as M&H Beans Coffee Company located in Stark County, Ohio. They'll ship coffee everywhere, anywhere you need. They got Red Eye Rub also for your barbecue. It's going to be summertime soon, so be sure to check them out. You guys can find all of them online, on Instagram, on Facebook. Check them out. Support them. They support our show. They keep us going each and every week. We appreciate all of you. Now sit back, relax, throw those headphones on, turn that volume up, and enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Hope all you out there are doing well, taking care of yourself, and doing what you need to do for yourself and for your family. Hey, everyone. So we have an amazing guest hanging out with us today, Joel Bouhey. He's a second-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a co-owner and lead instructor with his wife at Jiu-Jitsu 100 Martial Arts Academy in Idaho. He's competed at the highest level in many prestigious tournaments around the world and has some of the best-selling instructionals on BJJ Fanatics. Joel, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it very much.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
And if I butchered your last name, I apologize.
It's pretty close. It's pretty cose. Just Bouhey.
Just Bouhey. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've had it butchered a billion times throughout my life. So
good. I'm not the first.
Right.
So Chad, we were talking a little bit about Joel's got Fight to Win coming up here at the end of April.
Very nice.
Before you jumped in, and so yeah.
Yeah, we did a little vacation to visit my parents and got home yesterday. So today is like the first day of a little training camp here and starting to get focused on diet and training and sleep and all that stuff.
Nice.
You did Go ahead, Joe.
I'm probably at like 180 right now, and then I'm going to fight at 165. But once I start rolling, like in about a week and a half, a lot of it's just going to come right off. Like I said, I was just kind of eating and going out with the family every night for vacation, and put on a few pounds there.
That's what happens on vacation. That's why we go on them.
I know. I was trying to work out too, but it's just so hard to not go out to the restaurants and stuff. And I don't know. It was cool. I got to go back to my old hometown and actually train with the very first people that I ever started with.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool to go back and chill with them. And I taught a class and met all the new students and spent a little time with my original instructor. It was pretty cool.
That's very cool. And where's that at? Eugene,
Oregon is actually where I started.
Oh, okay.
And so right around the year 2000, long story short, just watching Royce Gracie, we ended up looking in a little something I like to call the Yellow Pages. I don't know if the younger kids have heard of that,
right.
But and then there was one place to train, and I was like, oh wow, there is a jiu-jitsu place. After watching Royce, we were just looking for Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and there was one place, and I called them up, and they said just come on down tonight. So we went down there, and it was like a classic. Back in the day, we rolled the very first day super hard. I remember walking out of there thinking, I want to do this forever. This is so cool. I can't believe there's a group of guys in that room working on this stuff. And so I just kept going back, and I got my blue belt. It's a Megaton team. So I got my blue belt from Megaton and a couple of his black belts that are in Eugene. And I trained there for about 4 or 5 years. And my wife and I met her in college in Oregon. She's from Hawaii. So after she graduated, we moved back to Hawaii, kind of take care of her dad. Her dad had a stroke. And I went back to Maui. I'd never been to Hawaii in my whole life. And looked up where to train over there, and Luis Heredia, who's like widely known as Hicks and Gracie's like right-hand man, so one of his best friends from back in the day, he has a school, and the rest is history. I went in and I started training as a blue belt there, and that was, around 2005, 2006. And I got the rest of my belts there in that room in Haiku under Luis, and trained there for a long time and taught there for a long time. And when the pandemic hit, it hit Hawaii pretty hard, so both of our jobs were affected immediately, and we didn't know what was going to happen. So we kind of made a spur of the moment decision to like get off the island for a while and, see if we were able to open a business somewhere. And we did a lot of looking around, and this spot here in Idaho doesn't have any schools near it. So we kind of went for it, and it's going really good. We've been here about a year and a half, and the school is blowing up. So like, it's great. It's going great.
Awesome too. You followed your passion. I mean, so how long has your wife been training too?
She's been on the mat training for about 4 years. We've been together for 20 years. And the very first day that we met, I was trying to talk her into jiu-jitsu already.
Right.
But it's funny because she's so into it now. Like, she competes herself. She's a blue belt.
Nice.
And she's so into it now that she just kicks herself that she didn't start back then, because she'd be like a seasoned black belt right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get into it, and then you start going, man, I wish I would have did this so long ago.
Yeah. She just thought it was a bunch of guys like squeezing each other and grunting. And I was like, no, we're actually using our brains a little bit in there. And she's like, this is so fun. I can't believe I never gave it a try before. But like I said, she's way into it. And we have 2 daughters, 10 and 6, and they both just did their first tournament, and they're training real hard too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, which kudos to you in training them and your wife, because I watched some of those videos of your daughters competing, and they were savages on the mat. And I was like, yep, these girls are going to be real good here.
They're working hard. They really are working really hard. And I have a bunch of kids, you guys, over here that it's really taken off. I have like this community of kids that had never really done jiu-jitsu. Some of them have wrestled though. And they're just coming in one after another. And all of them are, super respectful and really liking jiu-jitsu. And we went to this Grappling Industries for the first time, and we got 3rd place. We did really good. It was awesome. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I love to hear that you guys have a kids program. I mean, we have an awesome kids. My 8-year-old, he's actually in the jiu-jitsu program at East Coast, which that's Chad runs. But it's awesome. Like, I love to hear when gyms have it, just because being in this community, the benefits of it, of BJJ, and not only what it does just like physically and mentally, but it can change your life. I've said this many times on the show. It outside of other things you do, school or anything, what I mean? So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys have a great program like that going on for you. That's very cool.
Yeah. I think there's a big bully problem going on, at least in this town, I'm sure it's everywhere. Of course it's everywhere. It was always everywhere, but
sure,
it seems to be a little, I don't know, with the social media, it's different, with kids on the phones, and it seems to be more harsh, you know what I mean? And it's pissing me off, to be honest, seeing all these stories and videos, because everybody posts these videos of like, are you allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah. You can say anything you like.
Okay. Fuck, shit, balls. No, shut like you see all these videos, and they're so disturbing. And the Gracies, they do a good job at putting these videos out and talking about them and stuff. But yeah, I think it always was a concerning to me. But now that my kids are older and in school, and I got 2 daughters, not that any kid going to school, it's going to be kind of a challenge, I think. But man, we're kind of trying to really step it up and get involved here and do what we have to do to get this shit to stop. Because I was trying to tell these kids, like, if the whole wrestling team decides there's no more bullying in the school, there's no more bullying in the school. It's that simple.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just takes the tougher people to become good people that aren't going to have it.
Right.
And then it can end, but you really do have to have some of the tougher people be about that, and obviously you can build people to become tougher, and that takes time. But I try to have these super serious conversations with these, rowdy wrestling boys, like that are going to the schools. They're all great kids, but they're older, they're getting older. And I just try to keep having these talks with them, and I'll show them the videos that Henner and Hedron put out, those ones that make you want to cry, and
sure, yeah.
I'll show them that video, and then I'll have a serious talk. And then I'll tell them, you're not coming, not that anyone's doing anything, but if anybody does, you're out of here. It's the first thing that's going to happen is you're not going to be able to train with me anymore. And I almost use it, as a part of our motto, just a part of our school, what we're about. Just because after opening the school, seeing a couple kids, not to name any names or anything, but had a couple kids have specific issues at school, harsh, shit going on, and they're super good kids. And so I'm trying to work with them and teach them jiu-jitsu and help them out and do whatever I can do to end it. But it's just so concerning because it's not happening to me and I want to help, and it's like, dude, you can't get good at fighting in in a couple months. It's not even in a year. You can get way better. But it's if you're a little guy and you got to deal with some big guy, it's fuck, it's going to take a little while, to get those skills. So depends on who you are too. Right. But if you're the most coordinated kid, you're going to get it, but you're probably not getting picked on. But yeah, so I just, it sounds cliche as a martial artist, but I really do hate it. The bully stuff. It's pretty bad. So especially with the girls,
Go ahead, Chad.
Well, and like you said, Joel, with social media and phone, everybody's got a phone now. It's different than when we were kids.
Right.
I always say I have twin boys that are seniors in high school, and luckily they've, they're good kids and kept out of trouble, and they're
right on. That's awesome.
Right. But man, to be a kid in today's world would be tough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Imagine the shit that they see that they don't tell you about. You know what I mean?
Oh, that too.
Yeah. A senior in high school is a crazy time, man.
Yeah.
Just all of high school, actually. Being a freshman was pretty nuts. But it's a crazy little jungle, I think. And if you have the ability to really fight for real, then I think you're going to have the ability to say what you want to say, maybe to keep yourself from the peer pressure stuff that you don't want to do, but maybe you're intimidated, by the people that are around you. I think that there's a lot of different things that the martial arts can do to help, other sports too, if you got to compete on the weekend or play a game on the weekend, every weekend, well, you're not getting in as much trouble, so
you're not being a knucklehead,
you got shit to do. You got to be ready to perform. So competing, I got this one kid, his dad, they're 10, he's 10, but he's an amazing wrestler. He's probably the best wrestler by far on my team. And his dad takes him to all these meets, and they just do homeschool, and he just wrestles. He goes to club practices. He's at the school practice. His dad will drive him to Reno, drive him to Vegas. They're just hardcore wrestling, Latino family, all about it,
Nice.
And it's just cool,
that's going to instill a big life thing for him though, because he's going to understand the work ethic. He's going to be dedicated. Dude, he's going to push himself,
He's such a hyperactive little kid. He needs it,
He needs it.
So it's just great when some kids walk in and it's they wrestle or they roll,
Sure.
like adults with the intensity of an adult almost. And it's dude, you could do something special, you could have a chance here. You could have a chance at a world championship if that's something you want, or, to teach one day or whatever. And then other kids have to work harder. Both of my daughters, my older one, she has to work so fucking hard to get anything out of jiu-jitsu. We work on push-ups so much, and it's so hard for her to do a push-up. And my younger daughter can just crank out 20 push-ups. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just completely different genetic gene or whatever. But yeah, everything comes real easy to the little one. She's probably the one you saw winning in the competition.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
My other one, she just had a hard time with the coordination, and she actually reminds me of me, but I think some kids will blossom later, but if you stick with it, it's in your head. And eventually the body will follow. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The more you dedicate yourself to it. And I mean, having good role models around too, like yourself. I mean, they see that and it goes back to your students as well. Like they see what you do, what you've done, how you speak, you know what I mean? Like that pays dividends. We don't have enough of that in young culture, I think today. And that's why you have like, obviously social media is easy and kids are young and dumb. I mean, honestly,
for sure.
They're posting stupid stuff or answering someone or doing something or attacking them in some way, not really understanding the consequences always, but it takes people like you and Chad and others out there that are great leaders in teaching people martial arts. Cause I mean, Chad, you probably agree with me. Martial arts is a huge aspect of a life lesson from beginning to end,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just if anything, it's the confidence maybe to never fight. Obviously, if you have to defend yourself, that's what it's all about. Right. But I take pride in that. I've been in martial arts since, I was a kid in karate, obviously back in the 80s and stuff. But I've never been in a fight in my life. Now, is that just, right time and right place? And I've just never put myself in that position. But I think also the confidence in how you carry yourself goes a long way too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, man.
Definitely.
Totally. I couldn't agree more, and once you get the real skills where you're, sparring, training, competing, basically fighting, and you start doing well, you kind of know what's up for real.
Yeah.
And that's when it changes, everything else is a guess. I remember being in PE with my buddy in 9th grade and for the first time in high school. And they take you to the gym class. And they have, they test you out on the strength or whatever. And they were doing bench press, I guess. Everybody had to just see what they could bench press, And my buddy, he was like, "Oh, I bet you I could put those big things on the end." I seen those guys on TV and the guy couldn't even push up the bar. But his whole life, he thought he could bench press like a bunch just because he saw it on TV and he built it up in his head, So it's a trip. It's a trip where you can build up in your head. But once you once you really roll, how many people think they would do good? It's like, oh, give it a try, man. Go to a class and see how you do, because not very many people do good on their first day.
No,
not at all.
So it's just a trip.
That's when they leave and go, or they either get humbled and come back, or they go, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." You know what I mean? Like
make an excuse in their head, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I can bench 500 pounds though. It's like, that's good for you.
It
doesn't really matter how much you can bench.
Yeah. How you're using the athleticism and strength,
It's kind of awesome. So this show will come out later on, but yesterday there was a seminar at our gym. James Klingerman, Joel, you know who James Klingerman is? He
came out to Maui once.
Nice. Awesome. Chad, go ahead. I'm going to say it.
What?
Like
He's my instructor. Yeah, that's James. We're an affiliate under James. James is who gave me my black belt. So
right on. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I almost competed against him. I was hurt when he came out to Maui, and a different guy from Maui fought against him. But I had time to meet him and his wife.
Yeah,
and I listened to a couple of podcasts of like his story. Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
crazy, right?
It's super crazy.
So crazy, man. It just makes you like the guy immediately.
Right.
Super good. You guys get along good with all the loop chokes.
Yeah. I saw that.
Oh, you big loop choke. You like loop chokes?
Yeah, it was one of the first moves. Like I remember when I started, all my instructors were like, "Oh, Megaton does this, Megaton," and the loop choke. And so I learned it because they were showing it to me. And then when I moved out to Maui, it's like one of Luis's favorite things.
Oh, nice.
So both of my instructors were big on it. So I kind of adapted it.
Yeah. Same with me. Same. James is big on it. I love loop chokes a lot.
I love them because they were taught so early in my jiu-jitsu journey. It was like, they're one of my favorite things to do now. If I can get them, I'm always looking for them.
I just taught one of the variations you posted the other day, Joel, where you roll under and they roll away and you go to the underhook and then mount to the straight arm bar off of it.
Oh yeah.
Right I just taught that variation the other day.
Sweet.
So I like that one a lot.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Yeah. I was going to say about the seminar, it was kind of cool. So I didn't participate in the seminar, but I came in a little bit later. My son had baseball practice and I have a new tattoo on my hand. So I'm kind of getting,
I was going to say that looks tight.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It's a whole layout scene my whole arm, and it was Friday was the final piece. Like I got my hand and all the flowers colored in. It goes all the way up my arm. But so I had my 8-year-old who does jiu-jitsu, and he's been, I don't know, maybe a little less than a year, maybe a year now. And he was sitting beside me, and James had a bigger guy come over and was doing some pressure passing, and James just swept him like it was nothing and came up. And my son looked at me and goes, wow, he's so big and James is not. And I go, this is why we do jujitsu. He was like, okay, like it was awesome just for him to see, because he's never seen that yet, like live. And, you know, Sione's a bigger guy than James. I mean, probably outweighed him by, 75, 100 pounds, maybe.
Oh, more than that.
More than that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So,
bro, I just there's some big guys out there, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I see big guys on the mat, it's like, oh shit. Oh.
We're getting a lot of big guys lately. I keep telling everybody I'm going to run an ad for discounts on guys that are 170 and under versus all these big guys. I mean, like I'm 150, 155. I need some small guys.
Yeah, man. Oh, dude. Yeah, totally.
Especially as you get older, you know?
Yeah. The back, you got to play top more.
That's
It's just, it depends on the big guy. You know, if you get the right guy, he's cool to roll with because he'll play bottom or whatever. But I'm kind of over trying to prove anything to myself these days with the big guys. Like I rolled hard with so many big guys. I'm like, all right, man, if I have to, I know I can, but I don't need to see it anymore.
You don't need it.
I don't need to see it anymore.
That's why I'll purposely work on stuff when I roll with someone that's lighter than me, just because of that. Like, I'm like, I need to move. Like I'm 215. I'm around 6'2", 215. You know, it's like I roll with Chad. He's 150. So he's my height, but he's 150. So it's like, I'm going to work on other things, like, trying passes or trying to do stuff. Like I don't try to smash guys or anything, because I'm just like, I already know that I weigh more than you. So what's the point?
You could have done that already. Yeah.
Totally. It's like, I want to do moves. Like I want to move and try other things, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. And then when I'm on the bottom, the smaller guy's like, here's some knee for your belly. I'm like, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. But
that can be an issue, man. The more it rides up into the sternum area, it can start to be pretty painful there.
Yes.
I like knee on belly a lot, obviously offensively.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I like that a lot. I think for me being kind of a taller, skinny guy, like it plays into me having some distance, after I pass, but still being able to like keep him from getting that knee back inside, and then switch into the other knee on belly, or finding new ways to switch from knee on belly just into anything has been pretty fun for me lately. That's kind of something I've been.
Go ahead, Chad.
I think, like you said, Joel, being a taller, skinny guy too, it's easier to control that with space and pressure versus trying to get inside control and they just bench press you off of it.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Or they roll you or whatever. So at least like when I try to pass a big guy's guard or somebody way bigger than me, I stick that knee on belly and just slow them down a little bit.
It's a really good point because like you said, you'll get rolled over pretty quick with those big guys,
Yeah. Yeah. They don't need to trap that arm and roll. It's like, right.
There's nothing worse than being on top side control. And then all of a sudden you're on bottom side control.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You know what I mean? It's like you're not in guard. Fuck, the guy completely switched on you.
You're like, what the heck?
That sucks.
Did your game of change as you aged, like doing it?
Yeah.
Would you okay.
Big time. When I for a while, I don't remember when I started messing with it. Probably the end of blue belt, but I started getting way into using the rubber guard, and just like when Eddie Bravo got big and stuff.
Yeah.
Like everybody's watching. I got way into it because I'm flexible, and I think doing it the amount that I was doing it, which was just so much, I got my back injured. Like more of a wear and tear. Thing, getting stacked and just playing the flexible game in general with no regard to getting injured. You know what I mean? Just because I was always so flexible that I kind of thought I was like, oh man, I'm kind of a yoga style guy. Like I'm not going to get injured like these stiff guys.
Sure,
you're just young. You're flexible, but you're also young. And, long story short, it ended up getting worse and worse. The lower back left side, L6, L7 area. It started getting worse and worse. And I traveled to Kansas with Kendall Grove to help him get ready for this fight, to coach him. And we trained so hard. And I trained with all these other MMA guys, really hard rounds, and I put my A game on for sure. So I'm playing my flexible game. And I already had that little injury that was bugging me. And man, when I got on the airplane, it was insane. And the next day, like I couldn't move my leg, and the pain was just crazy. You guys, for a year, my back was out of commission, and I was like in a really, really, really bad place.
Oh man,
like probably the worst place I've ever been mentally. I didn't think I would ever train again. I didn't think I would be able to pick up my girls. It was really bad, and so I'm looking at like what surgery I might have to do, and all this stuff. And I ended up getting PRP. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Oh no.
Where they take your blood, they take your blood out, they spin it in a centrifuge, separating the plasma from the blood. And then they put that shit back into the injury. So the injury, they had to get an ultrasound and inject into my spine, bro. And, I heard about it on Joe Rogan and on some other stuff, but I was in such a bad place. I was like, man, I don't even know. It was like $900, but I did it. And it ended up bringing me all the way back, bro.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
yeah, dude,
it's crazy, but yeah,
it was. So I can't tell, if anyone's listening and they have an injury on their lower back and it's really bad, before you go for the surgery, try out PRP. I had to get it done like 3 times, but after I got it done, the initial time, like it was like so much better, like to the point where it felt like magic or something.
Wow,
I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
Yeah. It brought me all the way back to competing again. And
is PRP bigger? I mean, since you've done it, so how long ago was that, Joel?
2018 was the year where I was fucked, like just so like that was the year. 2018 is when I did that. And yeah, man, it was crazy. I didn't think I'd be able to roll again. I didn't even think I'd be able to do jiu-jitsu like without pain, or probably wouldn't be teaching anymore. Like it was really bad. And that brought it all the way back,
Wow.
So I always try to tell people, if you have any injuries and you can find a guy in your area that does PRP, which it's bigger now, like you were saying, it's bigger. That's
what I was wondering, if it's bigger now. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. People you're going to be able to find one. And it's pretty awesome, bro.
Hey man, if you could do something better than surgery, I mean, I always tell people all the time, like if surgery is a must, then go for it. But if it's something that doctors are telling you, then you probably should exhaust all things to make sure that it is the last thing you need to do, especially with technology and advancement of where we are in the medical world now. Like look at you, like you're a walking like miracle story to say, look, it works. And I didn't have to have surgery. Like I didn't get cut, and now you're back. I mean, I know you went through hell basically, for that time when you weren't, but I'm glad that you're here and that you're able to teach kids and teach other people jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, bro, and compete. Me too, man. Me too. And it was a game changer for sure. I had never heard of it. Like the doctor, they just wanted to prescribe me pills and then suggest the surgery. And I brought up PRP and they were like, what's that? They didn't even know what it was.
They didn't even know.
Yeah,
wow.
For real. They didn't even know what it was. And I was like, what? And so, you kind of have to look into it yourself sometimes.
The ultimate America thing here. Let's give you any prescription you want. You need drugs, we can write anything and it'll make you feel better. It's like every here. I mean, I've talked to Chad many times. Like I can go to my doctor and she'll be like, oh, well, you need something for that? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, they getting paid there, dude. They're getting paid.
My wife and I battle about that because she's like, do you think they're really? And I go, come on, they're getting a kickback or something. I was like, it's
absolutely.
There's a whole doc. Yeah, dude. We could go on forever.
Right. So we won't.
Yeah, we remember we had Alberto Crane on the podcast, and he has MS, right? And when he was diagnosed with MS, they gave him a catalog to pick what medicine he wanted to take. Like, that's right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he obviously didn't pick anything and got involved with some other stuff. But that's how easy it is, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They're ready to give it to you. That's for sure.
Which is, and it is sad that we've become a society of, I mean, we've always been consumers, obviously, as human beings, but it's sad that we've come to that point where it's like, oh, well, just take a pill and it'll make you better. And I'm like, man, we're probably messing up our body worse by taking all this stuff instead of using it.
You know, you're taught to, obviously this is, get off topic, but you're taught to trust the people you're going to, right? That they're going to,
you are.
No, you're right.
You know, you're taught to trust that doctor, that person, that they're looking out for your best interest. But, there's other things involved. There's a lot more money in the treatment than the cure. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back at it, man. That's awesome.
Damn rubber. Damn rubber guard.
I don't play the rubber guard unless I
don't either. Not anymore.
It's like, I feel like even today, like in a real high pressure roll, it's a real weapon of mine still. Like I'm good at it and I'm flexible, but I really don't do it in rolls that much anymore. Every once in a while I bust it out, but as far as like it being a thing that I'm gonna practice every day, I don't mess with it anymore, dude. And then
me neither.
I trying to get on top more, and I used to love the guard, and I used to love to be the guard guy, and now I want to be on top more. I don't mind starting in the guard, but I really want to work the sweep and get on top and pass the guard now.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Coon.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
It's like no,
probably,
but
you think about it, Joe. You probably don't play it as like I don't play closed guard though. I'm always open guard. So
yeah, me too. I try to, but I play mostly open guard. Yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day, like early 2000s, it was like we didn't start playing open guard. It was closed guard, and then you'd go to that kind of stuff, right? Like I played rubber guard a lot.
I just feel like people are so good at dealing with the guard that it's not that easy to just put them in closed guard. You know what I mean? No, like it used to be easier,
Yeah, people would walk into your closed guard.
Yeah, and they know how to stall you out too.
That too.
It's just everything's evolved, so everything's harder,
Yeah.
And open guard is that's probably one of my biggest weapons is just an open guard, Yeah.
Yeah. I teach my guys that closed guard equals death. Like if you get because you said guys will stall you out. Like it's hard to pass closed guard, no matter what rank you are. It's hard to open somebody's legs and pass. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. I think if you have enough time, to play that old school game where you're going to try to cook them until you start, try to maybe the guy's got athleticism or size. And so you're not going to start your attack sequence until you see that they're breathing hard and just making them, wrapping them up. It can be a good long strategy, kind of a boring style, but old school hoists,
Yeah.
Those guys were getting tired though. Like Dan Severin after a while, he was getting tired, dude.
For sure.
And if you got those skinny long legs that can like run a marathon, you can kind of play guard for a long time, So it just depends on who you are. But and what you're training for. Like if you got a 5-minute competition, and you're on the bottom, you got to do something, dude. You can't just sit. Yeah, you got to do something.
Sure. Yeah. What's your time limit going to be on Fight to Win in April?
I'm pretty sure it's 7 minutes.
Is it 7 minutes? Okay.
For masters, yeah. I just turned 40. But I don't know. I saw that they were coming to Hawaii. And I texted Seth immediately and I said, bro, you have to get me on the Hawaii card. I really want to fight. And he texted me back, I'm going to get you on. So nice. That's all I really know. I don't have a confirmed opponent yet, but
okay.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure, he won't text that back unless he's going to do it. But I'm excited to see who it's going to be.
Yeah.
And
is it going to be a gi match?
Yeah, I signed up for a gi match, but if he calls me and he says it's no gi, I'll do it.
Right.
But I'm kind of I don't know. The older I get, the more I just want to do the gi, even though I really like no gi. I love to teach it and work on it. But as far as we're going to go 100% heel hooks, all that shit, let's go right now. I've done a lot of that. I don't know. How much longer do I want to play the heel hook game? I'm just it's great. And it's what everyone's doing. And if you want to go against a high level player, you better know it. But I'm just shit, man, if I get into a real fight, I don't think I'm going to do a heel hook. And I know no one's going to do a heel hook on me.
Right.
So it's like,
right,
you know, like how much time, like I'd rather work on mounting somebody or something that I could do in every aspect of any kind of a fight. Gi, no gi, MMA, whatever. If you could just mount somebody, right? Or take their back or something. I don't know. The older I get, the more I sound like my instructor. Just all about the basics, you know?
Yeah. You think, look at, did you watch Who's Number One the other night with Gordon Ryan?
Yeah.
I mean, that's his, he, you know, he was very good at the leg attacks, but he doesn't really do that anymore. It's basic. I'm going to cook you and mount you and make you turn over, you know?
Yeah. I feel like he kind of let the guy get into that heel attack
for sure.
To show how
that
he
false
gets out.
reap. Yeah.
And then he'll, you know, he's going to have another video, but like, damn, that guy's good.
He is.
I know the guy was a brown belt and smaller.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody he fights, he kicks their ass, you know?
Yeah,
so
Jacob's good. Like, you know, that was the big thing. It's like Jacob's no slouch, and everyone's like, well, Gordon outweighed him by this many pounds. And I'm like, Jacob is a good grappler. He's really good. He's top of the line.
He's one of the best. The only thing that tripped me out was I didn't think he was going to look that much smaller. You kind of don't know. You just see on the internet, you know?
Right.
But when I saw Wayans, I was like, holy shit, dude. Yeah. I always thought Jacob
I was surprised too.
Big, you know? Like
when I saw them too, I was like, oh.
What the fuck, bro? That's crazy. That guy's so big.
Yeah. Did you see the challenge Gordon laid down, what he wants to do?
Yeah.
Man, I think he could do it. Who says he can't do it?
Dude, I hope they do that. That is crazy if he gets them all to do that.
Did you see it, Terry?
I did not. So
he challenged Victor Hugo, Tim Spriggs, Gaudio.
Oh gosh, did he do for one night?
One night, 4 in a row. He wants to go against all 4 of them. Wow. He doesn't care what order he said.
Because the last thing was him and Tim going back and forth. That was the last that I saw where he,
Spriggs is tough, man.
Spriggs wasn't really, I wasn't impressed, and Gordon came back, which it's the internet and that's what they do, and it is what it is. When you're at the top of the food chain, man, you can say whatever you want. I don't care.
I like entertainment. I like it when they build it up, especially at the top like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for grappling.
It is for sure. I mean, it makes people want to watch. Like even this, he was even, him and Jacob are, pals, and they like each other or whatever. And, they didn't talk smack at each other, but still it was like Gordon went out there and he's like, I'm going to put on a show. Like, I'm not just going to.
Fuck, he went pretty hard on the boy. I was like, I thought he was going to take it easy. I was like, damn, bro.
Jacob looked very, very uncomfortable. I was like, wow, that's the worst I've ever seen him. Yes, his ribs.
Yeah, his ribs looked like they hurt pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad.
Up to an S mount. And then it was like, pressure tap. There you go.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So bad.
I know. I thought that's what it was going to say in the envelope. I thought it was going to say pressure tap.
Oh, yeah.
He was squeezing him hard, dude.
Yeah.
Leave it the Gordon to change it up with the little envelope.
With the note. Yeah.
Man, that's going to be the best to watch that one, huh?
It's going to be tight. Yeah. It's going to be good.
Just that whole ADCC. I can't wait,
Yeah.
The whole thing's going to be awesome.
So huge, and just the amount of talent that's in it, and like the guys that are competing against one another, every weight class. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Well, we got more. I mean, the West Coast trials are this coming weekend, I think, or next weekend.
Yeah, right. 1st of April, right? So
it's going to be. Who knows how many competitors? Probably 1,000 competitors, right? I mean, it's going to be big.
I'd imagine
it's going to be pretty insane. I think.
Yeah.
They haven't had a rivalry like built up like this since like Hoyler and Eddie.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of anybody like really built up like it's been years of shit talking,
that didn't like each other, right?
That legitly do not like each other. Like they're not.
Oh man, especially now. Yeah,
it's
gonna be it's gonna be crazy, rough.
Yeah, and Andre's performance at ONE FC didn't look the best.
Well, is that guy that he fought? I just never heard of that guy, but he's the champion, or
I think he's a
double belt, like light heavyweight or something. I'm not
like for MMA or for submission.
No, just for like I think it's for one grappling, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't follow it that much, but it was a draw. I mean,
I saw some of it. I never heard of the guy, but he must be fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, right.
He must be fucking good.
Yeah,
but sure, I know. It kind of makes you Well, you know what though? How do you think Andre would have done against Jacob Couch?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I mean,
I want to see that one now.
That would be good. That'd be interesting.
It'd be pretty interesting, but Andre looked pretty fucking jacked.
He did.
I know he looked. Yeah,
he looked pretty fucking jacked.
How old is Andre now?
How old? He's late 30s, right?
Is he late 30s? Okay,
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna be a big age difference, big size difference.
Yeah.
That's wait till you see that stare down. That's gonna be a big size difference.
Big height difference for sure.
They're
gonna weigh at the same weight though?
No, I don't think so. It's the super fight. I don't think has to be, does it?
I don't know
because Gordon weighed in at 230 this weekend.
I saw that,
and I don't think Andre's 180. Maybe I don't know.
I think he's closer to 2.
You think so? He might be.
Yeah. That guy, I don't know. Did he had to weigh in for last Saturday, right?
He did.
Yeah. Well, that's why
we were trying to look the other night. We were trying to look to see what he weighed in at because I
wonder what he weighed in when he fought Felipe Pena at the Abu Dhabi.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a couple years ago. Was that before? That was before pandemic, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just not to bring that pandemic up, but we're always going to say that, aren't we?
All those guys
change.
So we know all those guys.
No, it's gonna sneak in there somehow.
Go ahead, Chad.
All those guys look a little different when ADCC comes around, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah,
dude. A little bigger.
Kidding? It's insane, bro. Insane.
Yeah.
Andre Galval looked so jacked in the last one.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Chad, before
it makes it awesome.
It's going to be great, right?
Right. Oh, that's what. Yeah, it's going to make you're going to see amazing grappling, jiu-jitsu. It's going to be, top of the top. The best of the best. You're going to see, out there and competing and doing what they do. I mean, the last trials were amazing. I'm excited to watch these trials coming up. Like everybody out there that loves grappling, you should take an opportunity. And if you don't, go find someone that has Flow Grappling account. We're not affiliated. I'm not supporting them at all. And they don't support the show. I'm just telling you, go out there and watch it.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And you see good stuff, and just like who's number one. I mean, there was Chad, before you came on, Joel and I were talking about some of the matches and, Micah and Dante Leon's match was phenomenal. I mean,
that was a great match.
Those guys are so talented. Talented. Dante's blast doubles are just, super hard to stop. And then Mika Galval, he's always doing, amazing movements. And, good attitude, great guy, and just like a top level.
Those matches are so tough because it's like, I feel like Dante dominated that match, right? But there's no points. Submissions count more, and Mika had a couple attempts.
He had a good armbar in the beginning.
Does that outweigh?
I gotta go back and watch it now because when I was watching it, I was kind of thinking that he was, playing. Dante was definitely playing like bigger guy, top smashy, But I thought that homeboy was slick, he was defending really well, and he had some really good like movements, But makes me want to go back and watch it again now.
I'd like to go see how he got that armbar and how Dante got out of that armbar. I mean,
Dante got out of it because he's strong.
Strong, right? I mean, he didn't even shake the tree. Like
he said it was he felt it wasn't in. That's what.
Right.
Said,
oh, really?
At the end, I saw the interview at the end. That's what he was saying.
Okay.
But it looked pretty damn close to me.
So it looked like it was bending backwards. I was like,
usually that hurts, right?
Yeah, that was my cringe moment where I turned. I was like, oh man. I was like, and then all of a sudden they're like, he's out, and I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, how did he get out of that? But
it was it wasn't as bad as Gary Tonin and Kron Gracie. That one was fucking deep, bro.
Yeah, if you haven't watched that, Terry, that's when Tonin kind of busted onto the scene, right?
Yeah.
Nobody really knew who he was.
Okay.
ADCC, I don't even know. 20.
Well, when I first heard of Gary Tonin was he was on the BJJ Kumite.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's when
he was a brown belt.
That was so entertaining to me that they did that. I was like, holy shit, they have a reality show for jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And that's when I first heard of all those guys. And all those guys are pretty famous,
Yeah. I went back and watched that not too long ago. Like during the pandemic, I watched that whole thing again.
What year was that?
Bruh.
Was that?
What year was that?
Yeah, when
they were brown belts. So it was before Keenan. Like I got my black belt in 2012, and I swear Keenan got his in like 2014 or something.
Okay, so was Keenan?
So that must have been in 2012, 2011, something like that.
So Keenan was still a brown belt, and he was still at Lloyd's. So it was a while ago.
Okay.
It's all on YouTube, Terry. It's really good.
Okay, I didn't know that because I thought like I'm a greenhorn. Everyone out there that listens to the show, they know this. Until anyone out there new, thanks for listening. Terry's a white belt. So, but the new Flow show that they have coming up where like grapplers are going to compete, like it's a reality show. And I was all like, this is awesome. This is going to be great. I didn't know this already happened before. So now
they did. Yeah. And they did a pretty good job with it just for being on YouTube.
For sure.
I was really entertained, and it has all these famous guys that are famous now, like AJ Agazarm and Sean Roberts.
I always like Sean Roberts is really fun to watch.
Really fun to watch, and you can just tell he's like a super nice guy, you know.
Yeah,
which is cool. I haven't met a bad guy in BJJ yet, but
it always helps. Yeah, there's been a couple.
Oh, I'm sure, and people tell me that all the time. They're always like, "Well, wait till this so." I was like, "Well, Chad probably won't reach out to him to come on the show then."
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not.
Hey, when you train for like a fight to win, you just go, okay, is there a game plan to that? Or is there like, look, this is my jiu-jitsu and this is a one and done. Like I leave it on the line and I just go out there and give and get what's given to me type deal. I'm always curious.
I think for me, I don't know what everybody else is going to do. You know, there's probably a lot of game plans going on and studying.
Sure.
For me, I feel like there's levels obviously, and that there's some people that can pass my guard. You know, I've had my guard pass, you know, in competition, but most of the time it's very hard to pass my guard. So like I that's just how I look at it. You know, I put my best foot forward. Everybody, if you watch any of my footage, you're gonna be, obviously he's a guard player. He's gonna pull guard. You know, it's no secret. And then it's just a question to me is, can you pass it? Can you just drop back and get my foot? Can you pass it?
Sure.
What can you do? Because if you cannot pass my guard, how are you going to submit me? You know what I mean? And I know that I'm going to throw submissions out, you know? So for a guy like me, you know, I think it frustrates me when somebody pulls guard right away, like I do. And then like in points tournaments, you know, if somebody like touches my leg on a pull down or something like that, having to worry about those first 2 points is annoying to me, you know, so I can get that played against me. But I think for these submission only, I've done quite a bit of submission onlys, and you know, I can definitely, people can pass my guard, but I would just have to say it's my best weapon is my guard. And once I connect like with a grip, I think it's going to be pretty hard.
Nice.
You know,
does any match like out of your submission onlys, like, is there like one match that resonates all the time with you?
Yes. What one resonates all the time? Submission only. Well, when I went to the Metamoris Challenger thing, I flew from Hawaii, and that was pretty intimidating, you know, going to like Gardena, California in the ghetto, and this little spot, Black House MMA, and Halleck Gracie had this big stage set up, and you know, one by one, I'm just watching these monsters file in, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? And, you know, like one by one, people's legs are getting broken, just ripped off.
Oh man.
There's no ice. It's just like in the back of a warehouse, man. And then my name got called up, you know, and I won the trials. I submitted the first guy and I beat the second guy. However it worked out, I won 2 matches and I won my first trials. So like I gotta get back in the car and drive back to the hotel and tell everybody in Hawaii that I won, you know.
Sure.
And I'm coming back for the finals. That to me was just a pretty happy moment, just because I had built it up in my head, trained my ass off for it, and then made a big journey across the United States to get there. And that was a good moment. But the fight to wins, the last one in Hawaii was pretty awesome. I had like all of my friends there,
Nice.
family, friends, training partners. They came out to support, and it was like a big battle. I had a big battle with this guy from Oahu, and ended up getting the decision win. But it was just a lot. You know, I always feel a lot of pressure when I compete. Some people don't. I always do. You know what I mean? So it always feels good to, you know, go back to Hawaii where I got my black belt and see all my students and my training partners and have them come watch and like get a win for them, you know, because I know they want me to win. So it feels good to do that. And, you know, when a fight to win comes to Hawaii, I want to do it. They've only come twice before, and I was on both the cards. So nice. It's kind of like tradition now. But yeah, those ones stand out. I got invited to do the Marianas Open one year, but that's not submission only. And it was pretty special. I got thrown in a open weight class tournament with guys like Felipe Pena and Keenan and Holland Gracie and all these guys. And they flew me out to Guam and took care of me. I lost on the first round, but like, it was just the only time I got treated like rock star status. You know, they put me up, paid for nice dinners, massages, limo, just like, it was like crazy. They do it pretty good over there in Guam. They take care of people pretty good. It was pretty fun. So just being able to travel, you know, and have things paid for, those ones have always stood out to me. You know, I've always been, you know, had some wins and some losses, back and forth style guy, you know, but you know, being able to do a couple big ones like that, they're just special.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. And that stuff, I mean, yeah, it's like a lifelong memory builder thing, you know, like you're going to tell your girls are going to be able to see that, or you can talk about it forever, like go back and you've had that opportunity to, you know, travel. And yeah, I tell people all the time, like there's nothing like doing stuff in front of a lot of people of your family and friends and stuff, you know, like, that competition, like performing, being the butterflies and nervous and all that stuff is going to come with it most likely. But then I always, like, I teach my kids, I go, use that. I'm like, use it to, you know, motivate yourself to go to get through this and, you know, understand that you belong here, you know? So
you know, if the nerves make it kind of fun, you know, if it was really easy, like just going to the park or something, I wouldn't even be something that I would want to do, you know?
Yeah,
so
like the day you don't have nerves doing certain things that are kind of edgy. I mean, come on, let's all be honest. Like grappling is edgy in terms of it takes different people to do it.
Yeah,
we all have a different mindset. So if you're going to do something like that, it's like the day you're like, yeah, I'm not scared. It's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore. Like, you know, I jump dirt bikes and I'm never scared. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do this anymore, you know, type deal. So that's awesome, man. That's very cool. So,
yeah.
I was going to ask you something. I forget what it was. Oh, do you think there's a misconception about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the public? Because we love it and we know that.
What do you mean? What do you mean like a misconception?
So
does it work?
Just
no, yeah. Go ahead.
I think probably what it is. You know, we always joke that the biggest misconception is people think it's karate still, right? Like,
fuck.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, like, when I meet those people, I'm like, bro, we got to go back to UFC 1. You got to go back to UFC 1 and study that shit.
Watch it.
Because literally it's all in the history books.
Yeah.
It's already been, this is old. So you can go back and watch like the first 5 UFCs where you're allowed to eye gouge and do all this shit.
Yeah.
And you can see which style won all of them in a row until everybody started training. It's like super documented. So it's so crazy to me when people are like, I don't get it. What martial art? I'm like, that's something you can Google. I mean, like,
now it's proven, like you said, it's a proven process, right?
Yeah. It should be pretty obvious that, you know, for the most part, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling, boxing and Muay Thai, kickboxing, you know, like that's what it is. You know, those are the martial arts that really work, you know, that most people are using in the UFC. Not that there's, you know, Lyoto Machida is the man at karate or whatever, but for the most part, it's like you punch somebody or kick somebody or you strangle somebody or you wrestle somebody, you know,
right.
That's what works.
And Lyoto, he even changed his karate style. Like the more he fought MMA.
And he's a black belt.
And he's a black, right. It wasn't like tradition, like I don't say tradition because it's now I don't know that there is a tradition karate style that we're doing regularly in the West. You know what I mean? Versus,
who knows?
It's hard to say now. I mean, jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu and it will always be that. It will always, obviously will.
I think the hardest thing, like your question, Terry, is like people just don't know what it is. So I don't know what the misconception other than that. Yeah. Other than thinking it's something else, because people just don't get it.
And I get that even now. Go ahead, Joel. You're good.
Well, I was just going to say they have to come in and take a lesson to really get it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
once you have somebody on top of you in the mount, and then it's like, let's see if you could get out of this. Because obviously this is a spot somebody could hold you and rob you or attack you.
Right.
This isn't a fancy bendy leg position. This is just a big guy on you. Could you get out? That's what I tell people. I'm like, your whole family is under attack and you're mounted like this. What would you do? Show me right now. Boom. And then it's like, shit, man, you couldn't get out. Don't you want to learn this shit?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
That's the lesson. The second that happened to me, I was like, I'm sold. You don't have to say another fucking thing. I'm sold. I don't want anybody to be able to hold me like that. Fuck that. You know?
Yeah. Not cool. Not cool at all.
We've all probably been out at, our local bar or whatever, watching a UFC fight, and you got that guy yelling, just get up. Oh, yeah. Just get up. Like,
dude, that's what my dad said. My dad was like, I don't know, man. It just seems like that guy could get up. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
My own dad. After all these years, it's like, fuck, my own parents don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
We just joke about that.
Yes, there's a misconception.
Yes, there is. Yeah. And I always ask just to get people's opinions on it, just because when I explain it to people, it's the same thing. And they're like, what? What is that? And I'm like, never mind. Like and I also joke about how I've become the person that can't go anywhere anymore because I have nothing to talk about. Because it's like,
unless you train, right?
Unless you train, it's like,
I know
all your friends become jiu-jitsu people, right?
Right.
That's real. I really don't have any. I don't have any friends that don't train. No, I don't have time for hanging out with people. Really. I have a lot of time for training though. So if you want to hang out, we can. We can talk a lot and get to know each other pretty damn good on a daily basis even. But when I go off the mat, like I just spend time with my wife and my kids or recovering, from all the training. But that's just where I'm at in life now with work and everything. But
no, you're 100% right. I mean, that's what you do. And you got to put the training in. I mean, people are always like, oh, how do you get better? It's like, well, train. I mean, be smart, obviously, wherever, like whatever, but as Chad would say, you have to be here.
Yeah.
I
always tell people like 10 years is going to go by no matter what you do.
Right.
So like you might as well get a black belt. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it worth something.
Yeah. I mean, the time's going to go by. You could get a black belt if you want it. So it's a pretty good skill to have.
Climbing that mountain where only a certain amount of people do it. Only a small percentage of people do it,
That's what makes it cool, right?
It does. It really does. I mean, it's like when you really start to think about that part of it, you're like, not a lot of people do this. Like you can look at a room of 100 of people and go, I could probably submit every 100 person in here, all 100 people in here.
There's definitely some rooms like that.
That's what I mean? Because you're just like, yeah, wow, you're in a small percentage of someone that knows something that really no one knows at all. They want to know, or they're the guy that says get up. They're the guy. It's like, I could do that. I could get in the cage, or I could do this. It's like, awesome.
That's most guys think that. I think
right.
Fantasy land.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, that's what I was going to ask you earlier. Competition make you different in your BJJ? Does competition make you different?
Well, I started competing as a white belt about 6 months in. So I think it definitely changes you, makes you, it's pretty damn close to, I mean, if you really think about it, it's like you're taking away the strikes for sure, but it's pretty damn close to a fight. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then, so, you really are getting better at some sort of fighting, And once that clicks in your head, I think you kind of change as a person a little bit. The real confidence comes out, and also you become more humble. Because you realize that like anybody might be able to kick your ass. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely some little nerdy guys that can kick my fucking ass that you would never think that, but you know, they can. So it's like you kind of have to treat everybody with respect. Hopefully you're doing that already, but after jiu-jitsu, I think everybody kind of does that a little more, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It changes your mindset of some people get maybe a bigger ego. But I think for the most part, what Chad, you're right. Humbles.
It could go either way.
For sure.
But I think that there's a lot of truth in competing as far as like how you would do with your grappling anyways against another guy that's trying to not let you, you know, like, you can always have the argument like, well, what if I started punching? And it's like, okay, maybe, but like, you know, yes and no, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you would, but we know for sure that I just choked your ass out when we grappled. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you know, there's a big percentage there. Usually, you know, of what's going to happen is probably going to happen the same in a fight, but maybe not.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on the situation and
the style of jiu-jitsu. You know, if you take the guy down and pass his guard mountain, it's like, dude, the guy probably could have done that in a real fight. You know? What I mean? Right. If you take him down and you play lapel guard, it's like, okay, maybe you would have got knocked out. You never know. But
sure,
but you know, when guys are just like doing double legs and like right into side controls, like, dude, that guy would have done that to you on the street. Absolutely. You know?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, we've kept you for almost an hour. We're pretty close, right up an hour. Chad,
Sounds
you got
good.
anything you want to?
No, nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Nothing.
No.
Well, hey, man, Joe, we do this every show. Let everyone know where they can find you on social media, where they can get at you. I always put everything in show notes. I'll put a link to all the BJJ Fanatic stuff as well, because Joel has a lot of amazing best-selling stuff out there on BJJ Fanatics and a lot of different stuff, not just, you know, certain things. It's a lot of really good stuff, as Chad alluded to earlier, some loop choke stuff that we've done at East Coast. And any sponsors you would have or anything else you want to shout out, Joel, we love to use this platform for our guests, you know, to do all that, and everything will be in the show notes. So go ahead, my man.
Yeah, I would just say my name is the main thing, is Joel Bouhey. And then my academy is Jiu-Jitsu 100. If anybody's in Sun Valley area of Idaho, come train with us. You're more than welcome. And Joel Bouhey on Instagram, Joel Bouhey on Facebook, Joel Bouhey on YouTube. And that's Bouhey. And yeah, all my stuff is pretty easily. You can find it pretty easy by just typing in my name. So if you guys want to see free instructionals, you go to my YouTube, and then I have some for sale at BJJ Fanatics too. So awesome. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Joel, you have a Facebook group too, don't you? That you put a lot of clips in.
Yeah, I do. That's like I have my own Facebook, but the BJJ Fanatics has a Facebook group that anybody can join. It's just called BJJ Fanatics.
Yeah, but I thought you had your own Facebook group, Joel.
Oh yeah, I have a little one, Joel Bouhey Jiu-Jitsu clips. That's on there too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because that's where I forgot about that. That's where I sell a lot of your loop choke stuff. So
right on, dude. That's good feedback. I didn't know many people were watching that one, so that's good to know. You try to put a bunch of that shit out there as much as you can, but
it's hard. You never know with the algorithms and who's seeing what, and like it seems like it changes every day. And
for sure.
It's good talking to you.
Yeah, right on, you guys. Thanks for having me, and nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks, and keep the training up. Good luck on your upcoming match and everything.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it, definitely, for sure, man. And
thanks, guys.
We appreciate you and everything you're doing. You and your wife too, man, at the academy, and keep on doing it, brother. Appreciate you very much.
Okay, you guys, have a good one, my brothers. Take care.
All right, thanks, my man. Take it easy. Later.
All right.
And everybody, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys very much. Remember, do not put limits on your life. You have one life to live, so live your best life. We want you to succeed and understand that you belong doing what you're doing. Until next week, everybody, see you later.
Later.